And it is caught up. What's up, my writing weirdos? Welcome to BC Brown Books, where we get weird about words in ways that only writers can. We write them, and we talk about writing them. And today I am here with my fellow weirdo witchy writer, Sako Tumi, and we, of course, are doing our collaborative book project, Project Flambeau, that we are working on together from idea inception all the way through our zero draft at the moment, which is what we are working on. Tonight I will be writing on Project Flambeau because Sako/Cass had it before. And so I'm going to go ahead and let Sako/Cass introduce herself.
Howdy howlers, it's Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit. I write horror and I'm a witch and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. So if you are looking to market yourself as an author or you're looking to be a witch or a witch, please drop by my channel. I'd love to see you.
Yes. And Sako has amazing, just live stream, stream of consciousness stuff that she puts out there, which is super fun. It's really in there early in the morning for me, so I don't get to stop by very often. But I have a new coffee cup.
Look how amazing the coffee cup.
Squad goals with my girls on there. Stay golden, girls. Stay golden. Anyway, so with that, I might be able to try with you a little earlier. Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. So what are you going to be working on tonight?
I might be working on some children's illustrations for a book that A Turtle That Is Red wrote. So that's going to be a cool little collaboration thingy.
So do you do, I mean, I know you do a ton of illustrating, but do you do much children's illustration?
I haven't before, but I don't see why I couldn't. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Cool. I like it. I think it'll be cool because like your illustrations and things, some of them at least, have a real whimsy to them anyway, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be fun to see like that adult whimsy translated into like child
that's kind of the goal. Yeah. As that's kind of the point of the book is the main character is imagining that they are in some fantastic situation or some fantastic place while she's doing really mundane things.
Cool.
It's cute.
I can't wait to read it. That's like my childhood, where I was just like imagining being in fantastical places while I was like doing really mundane shit.
Yeah,
that's kind of my adulthood too. Do that a lot. So we have Devin Cutting in the stream already. It is not a stream without the wonderful, fantastic Devin Cutting. Howdy. Sako and I dropping in to say hello, drop a like, thank you. Speaking of which, if y'all like content, writing content, stuff like that, you think more people need to be doing these writing streams and participating in them just so we can grow our love and spread and infect the universe with the written word, I mean, encourage more writers, then totally hit and click the like button. There's a subscribe button down there. Get weird with it. We've got a bunch of links down below as well. My Patreon, my merch store, all of Sako's her merch store and contact information and all the socials and all of that stuff. All the socials. So you totally should take a few and peruse that. There's also a huge list of Authortubers down there that all, as far as I know, still do live streaming on a regular basis, so you can always find a stream. And if you need to find a stream, just ask Devin.
Really? Just ask Devin. Yeah. Devin will probably.
The man knows all, sees all, has all the links. He's that guy with all the links, as a matter of fact. What we've decided to call him. Okay. So we should probably do the writing spring thing.
Probably. I suspect since the booze and plan thing is going on, I suspect that we might get some spillover when they finish.
Yes. And I figure we probably will. But yeah, I was, if I just had, I mean, obviously Thursday, I wasn't going to stream on Thursday just because I was in a food coma way before 7:00. Well, 7 my time, 9 p.m. I was like gone.
Yeah.
On top of that, even if I hadn't been in a food coma, all I want to do is watch movies after I eat that amount of food, which we had a really simple Thanksgiving this year. Usually we do like a big Friendsgiving and invite everybody over, and we have like the vegan table and the vegetarian table and the omnivore table, and like so that everybody can be all copacetic and like everybody potlucks and brings dishes and stuff. But obviously we didn't do that this year because we social distanced. And we were very responsible. I didn't even invite like my niece over. And she lives like really close. I was just like, I mean, they were planning on going out of town anyway for Thanksgiving and then had to cancel it last minute. So I could have invited them over, but I was like, still want to protect the bubble, like as much as possible. Like, so my partner has his new job and he has to go into the office. And while they're doing distancing and masks are in place and all of that good junk, and it's just still, he's got to be out and about. So I was like, it's not, I want to do something real low key this year, which we didn't do it as low key as I wanted. What I wanted to do was wear my jammies all day and eat frozen pizza and watch pizza. That was what I wanted to do all day. So we ended up getting a ham and making mashed potatoes and like eating pumpkin pie and still wore jammies all day. But
I want pumpkin pie.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We bought the house this year. Our realtor that sold us the house, like the company brings everybody pies that they buy houses for that year.
Oh.
So they dropped off and I was expecting like a small, when they were like, would you like apple? Would you like pumpkin? What would you like? I was like, oh, totally pumpkin. And I was expecting just like a small pie or something when they said they were going to drop it. It was this big honking like pizza sized pie. And I was like, holy shit. And they dropped it off a couple of days prior to Thanksgiving, like left it on the front porch for us. And so I was super excited about this pie, and we both got a slice of pie out of it on Thanksgiving Day. And then we were naturally going to have pie for breakfast on Black Friday because everybody should.
Mm-hmm.
And we get up and there's mold like all over the pie.
Oh no.
And it was like, what the hell? And like we didn't go ahead and throw it out on Friday because we were going to clean this morning, and that includes taking the trash out and like all that stuff. So I was like, we'll just throw it out tomorrow, no big deal. It was like Fuzz City. Like, I was like, seriously? I'm like, well, that sucks. And so my partner.
How many people got fuzzy pies?
Well, I don't know.
Holy crap.
That's the thing. Like, I was like, that really sucks. So then on Friday, my partner was like, because I really wanted pie for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So on Friday, my partner's like, I'll go out to the store. And he's like, and I'll just grab another pumpkin pie. It's no big deal. We will still have pumpkin pie for breakfast. Shortage. He went to 2 stores. No pumpkin pie. Stacks of sweet potato pie. Stacks of pecan pie. But no pumpkin. So while we were out today, we went to 3 different stores and no pumpkin pie at any of them. So finally we got to Walmart, and I was just like, I don't, there was no pumpkin pie in like the bakery section. So I was like, on a whim, I was like, let's just check frozen food. Maybe there's some frozen.
Maybe there's a frozen pie. Yeah.
There were exactly 3 left on the shelf. We bought 2. I was like, we're getting 2 of them. So I was like, I just like, there's like a shortage of pumpkin pie in like apparently west side Phoenix, Maryvale area. Like, just can't find any pumpkin pies.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was real. I was like, okay, but the thing was, is I was like, I thought I was blown away that like our realtor was gonna bring us a pie. I was like, who does that? Who just brings a pie for everybody that bought a house with them that year? Like,
but also brought a fuzzy pie.
But now It's a fuzzy pie. And I'm like, like,
how long ago did they make those pies?
like, well, it's like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that I mean, our realtors, they're amazing people. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think they knew.
I don't think they knew. I don't think there was any intent behind it or anything like that. But yeah,
Right.
just one of those things where I was like, oh, it's a fuzzy pie, and then of course just being disappointed that I couldn't have pie for breakfast on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Because I'm an adult. I wanted to wake up, drink soda, and eat pie.
Drink soda and eat pie.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so tonight after the stream, we decided we're gonna put up all the Christmas stuff and like be real basic about it and corny and cheesy and like and have all that stuff. So I am curious about every one of my weirdos out there. What are your holiday traditions? So I would love to.
There are 3 witches' balls on that tree.
I figured they probably were like
mostly made last year, but.
Yeah.
Totally 3 witches' balls.
Yeah. There, I mean,
bones and flowers and feathers and all kinds of cool stuff.
I mean, we're gonna have to make some because we don't have any right now. So, like, we're gonna have to make a couple of witches balls or something.
Cool.
And then, like, we got a generic tree skirt this year. We didn't plan enough in advance, but I think next year I'm gonna buy him a really nice satanic. Like a really nice one, tree skirt, so that I'll just have to order it like way in advance, so that we have it. But and because he was wonderful, he's like, oh yeah, we can totally get a pentagram to put on top of the tree for you, and it'll be great. And he's like, or we can get a crescent moon or whatever you want to go on top of the tree. Although we got the generic star for this year because again, no planning on our part. But I want to make sure the tree represents him and me. So, yeah.
It's mostly a tree for my husband, but I'm interjecting a little bit of me in there too.
Well, so for my partner, Christmas is his thing. I mean, Halloween is mine.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I wanted, we had to come to some compromises here and there. Like he wanted a tree with all white lights. I hate white lights. I was like, I want colorful lights. I want a riot of color in my life. And so we got a tree that, I mean, it's an artificial tree. And we got a tree that has the lights pre-wrapped on it. And they sequence between white lights and color lights.
Oh.
So they like go back and forth and you can set like their dimming and how often they do it. And so they like dim and then come back up colors and dim and come back up white. And so I was like, well, that's a good compromise for us on the tree. I don't compromise like on the outside of the house because, which we ended up compromising on purple lights for the outside of the house.
Yeah.
Because again, I wanted color and he wanted just white ones. And I was like, that's boring. It's a little too boring for me. I was like, white lights look nice if it's like snowy out.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but we're not going to get any snow. It doesn't happen. It was like, we get dusted with a very light frosting, maybe by Christmas. I was like, that's it. It's just going to look weird otherwise. So, I don't know. Debbie is in-house. Love it. Hi, Debbie. So, Debbie makes pumpkin rolls with our kids. And her grandma started the tradition with her. That's cool. So, you're talking like the pumpkin logs that have like the cream cheese like on the inside, and you roll up the pumpkin dough, for lack of a better term, and then you roll them up and you slice them. So those.
Oh, yeah, sure. Like that's what I think of when I think of pumpkin roll.
When I think of a pumpkin roll, yeah. I mean, we called them pumpkin logs, but same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
same thing.
So my partner and I were kind of discussing that where we. Like, I didn't have any traditions around any holidays, really, growing up. Well, I take that back. July 4th, we always went to see the fireworks. Like, never failed. Took a blankie. Went out to the big town communal fireworks show, which was really pretty in our hometown because it was over. There's a giant memorial, like, monument to George Rogers Clark because he like helped found our town, sort of. Anyway, so there's like this big, huge stone monument, like circular monument to him there. And there's this big, old, historic stone bridge that goes over the river that runs alongside our house, my hometown. And so they set the lights off there. They set the fireworks off there every year. So we did that growing up when I was a kid, but that was the only tradition that we had for holidays. Like I was telling him, we were lucky if my mom got around to putting up a tree.
Oh.
We had to wait on the energy. We had to wait for her. But she had 3 jobs. She raised a single woman raising 3 kids, 3 jobs. So we were just lucky that she was even home long enough to do it and had the energy to want to do it, kind of a thing. And he was talking about how he thinks he broke his parents. He's like, I think like by the time he's like, because when I was a kid, we did like those big Christmas like things, like we had the traditions of putting up the tree and putting up the lights and doing all of that stuff and drinking hot cocoa. And he's like, but then I think by the time I became like a mouthy like 10-year-old, he's like, I think I broke my family and we stopped doing stuff like that. So yeah, she said it's a pumpkin cake rolled with cream cheese frosting in the middle. Yep. Yeah, those things are the bomb. One thing that I did do with my grandma every year was we made divinity cookies, which are really hard to make in the Midwest because they're really hard to make just about anywhere if there's humidity because they don't set up right. Because mine were always getting ruined. Like I could never do them, but my grandma made like awesome ones. And so that was one thing we always did. Those, and we made date cookies.
Date cookies are delicious, like thumbprints.
Yeah. Yeah. They're so good. So good. I should make date cookies this year. I think that's a good idea. That's a nice, simple baking project.
I still have some ghost cookies left over from Halloween. I think Christmas ghost cookies are necessary.
Christmas past.
Right.
So that works. Just like draw a little Santa hat and frosting on them. Put little holly and berries on like as a bow tie.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we should probably do the writing thing.
Okay.
Do you mind being my second screen again?
Oh, sure.
So I have requested emphatically on my Christmas list this year that I want my Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a Nintendo Switch, a computer Switch that lets me have access to my work monitors and my personal laptop. So Emmy says that they've also made Divinity with their grandma.
Oh, that's awesome.
I only get Divinity at grandma's houses, like for some reason.
How long do you want me to set it for?
Well, let's just do 20 minutes. Let's do what we can knock out in 20 minutes.
Okay.
2. Okay.
2, 3. Let's do this thing.
Sprint. Mute. Hey ho, that was 20 minutes. Jesus, that did not feel like 20 minutes.
I know, that went by fast.
I was just like, da, 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 da. I was like, I got plenty of time left. There's no way it took me this long to read that fucking section, but apparently it did.
Yeah, I know, right?
Which, awesome. I'm loving, by the way, the section that you wrote. Ice
you did?
The battle between Daisaku and the man in the three-piece suit. I love the way his skin writhed. Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, I was like, we need a little more horror in our horror story.
A little more mystery horror. I mean, we've had lots of paranormal, but yeah, we've had. I think a fairly decent amount of magic.
Yeah.
And we've had police procedural and magic going on. So it was just time for a little touch of horror. And I love the skin like wriggling and writhing. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you make some headway? I didn't get a whole lot done because again, I thought I had more reading. I was reading. That's important, but
I am taking the next steps in the concepts because the author really likes where I'm going with this. So I'm I'm setting up the file for the color stuff and color tests and whatnot.
Cool. I like that. So that's good that the initial concept is well received by the author, and that
normally I would give more options, but she was so happy with it. I'm like, dare I give her more options?
When you nail it, you nail it. You just go with it. Sometimes it's just like, well, fuck, I did that in one shot. Right. No problem. So yeah, but that's good. Yeah. That's good. I can't imagine. I guess it's the same though as writing to spec to
absolutely
but I couldn't. I guess it's because I'm so new with learning how to draw that I couldn't imagine like drawing to spec. Like,
oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, it's like the concept is so like drawing from my imagination and not from realism right now or perceived realism.
Sure.
Right now is really foreign to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can take realism and combine them. Like I can see a picture of a tree and see a picture of a skull, and that's how I got the painting behind me
with the skull tree.
Yeah. With the skull tree. Yeah, I was like, I can look at those two things and I can combine them. But as of right now, I still can't do imaginative drawing, like just out of my brain.
Give it time.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, I'm still really new at drawing. Like, I just picked up a sketchbook and pencil not this past September, but last year, September 2019.
Oh wow! So you're brand spanking new to this.
Yeah, and before and clear up until like Comic-Con, Phoenix Comic-Con, formerly known as Phoenix Comic-Con, Fan Fusion now is what it's called, but until like last spring 2019, I didn't even have the faintest concept that I could draw, like that it was even going to be a thing that I could do. I was talking with the artist beside me. I think you've heard this story before. I think everybody's heard this story before. Oh. So there was this really great artist, kind of not really an older lady, but I don't know, closer to my sister's ages. So she was like in her early 50s, I think.
Okay.
She and her husband were right beside us. It was kind of a slow year. And so we just got to talking, of course, as you do when you're at a con. You just talk to whoever's in front of you and right beside you mostly.
Yeah.
And she had these great, there were these great children's stories that had these cute little monsters and like, they were just these great little things. And I told her, she was just, bored. I had my laptop out and was writing. Mm-hmm. She had her sketchbook out and was sketching, kind of a thing. And I told her, I said, I've just really always envied having that kind of a visual talent. A talent that is just having some type of visual artistry. I was like, And she's like, well, you write. And she's like, you write really intense stuff. She's like, I write children's books. It's not like as deep. It doesn't have as much depth to it. It's, like one, maybe two plots. She's like, you got like 50 plots in a book.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but still, I said, I've always envied that, just people having a visual artistry like that. And she's like, then do it. I was like, I got kicked out of art class. I can't draw a straight line to save my life. And she's like, you want to learn how to draw something, you just pick up the book, find a reference picture, and just start. She's like, sketch it at first, or like trace it at first if you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's like, till your hands learn how to make the movements and you train your muscles.
Yep.
Like, so she's like, pick up a sketchbook and she's like, and some actual sketch pencils. And she's like, just do it. Look at pictures and just try and mimic it for as long as you need to mimic it. She's like, you're probably going
to. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, you're probably going to be mimicking for at least a year or two. She's like, most people do.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't know, whatever. And I mentioned it over the summer to my partner. Like, I was like, I don't know, what do you think? You think maybe I could try? And he's like, yeah, go ahead, go for it. I bet you could probably do it eventually. And I never got around to like buying a sketchbook or anything like that. And then just all of a sudden in September, one random ass day, he just comes home with sketch pencils and a sketchbook.
Aww.
And some paint and a couple canvases and brushes and stuff. He's like, I didn't know if you wanted to sketch or if you wanted to paint. So I went to Blick real quick and just, because a friend of ours works at Blick art supply store.
Oh, awesome.
And yeah, like a good friend of ours. And he's like, I didn't even know what I was asking for. I just went when Eric was working and was like, Booker, what do I buy? Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, what do you want to do? And he goes, I have no idea.
I don't know.
So he got, so he just hooked, he's like, this is kind of some basic beginner. This is how she draws. This is how she paint, kind of a thing. Uh-huh. And yeah, so I just started in the sketchbook. I just found some Pinterest, like already drawn pictures that I liked and was just like, figure this out. And lo and behold, I can actually do it. Now, if I get one of those art books that teaches you how to draw something, mm-hmm. I can't do it.
No, those don't work for anybody.
Yeah. Like he brought me home one of those too. Like it was like how to draw dragons.
Oh, okay.
Because he's like, and it had like more than just dragons in it. It had like dragons and fairies and like ogres and like stuff like that, like fantasy stuff, D&D shit that I would really like. But it was, starting with like what is those called? The action lines.
Oh, sure.
The circles and the triangles and the squares. I was like,
so the thing about those is you gotta like have a foundation in figure drawing first.
Yeah. I was like, what I could do was I could take the finished image and I could repeat it. I could mimic it and repeat it, just the finished image. But if it was actually layering it and building it up as from the layers, I was like, can't do that shit.
Okay.
So, but a finished picture of a dragon, I'm like, I can mimic that, and of course it wasn't perfect. And my style, which I don't even know what my style is, but my style's more basic, whatever. It's more sketchy. Mm-hmm. My style, I guess I should say. Anyway, but so that's been my drawing experience for the past year. So it used to be for like 6 months solid. Every morning when I woke up, the first thing I grabbed was my sketchbook and my pencil. Well, I took my medicine real quick, but I grabbed my sketchbook and my pencil, rubbed the sleep out of my eyes, sat up in bed and drew and just sketched for like an hour. Mm-hmm. And then I did that like every day for 6 months. Wow. So I have like 3 sketchbooks that are just full of crap. Mm-hmm. But some of them are really good too. I've shown off my sketchbooks a couple times on my streams, like just been like, and this is what I decided to do today instead of writing. I decided to draw today. So Debbie says that she uses the how to draw books for inspiration. Mm-hmm. So far, that's the only how to draw book that I've gotten. And it's definitely for inspiration. But I've come up with some like interesting meshes or interesting perspectives of the dragons in it and the ogres and stuff like that. And don't worry about my style.
Yeah.
I pretty
much style becomes a path in and of itself, and it took me a really long time to actually like come up with a style that was my own.
Yeah. And I think,
but I was not stealing. That is, but I was
mimicking.
Like Adam Warren's mouth and Masamune Shiro's nose and maybe some Project Echo eyes, and I started mixing and matching my references, and then
so I still keep in touch with that artist. Just periodically, I randomly after I'd started drawing, I was like, and I've got a sketchbook full because of you now. Thank you for the the inspiration. And super sweet. She was like, that's great. She's like, Nat. I was like, I can't yet draw from my imagination, but I'm doing good at reference pictures and being able to mimic them and alter them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that's great. She's like, finding your style is trial and error. She's like, if you find a particular set of ears that you like how that person draws their ears, then draw your ears like that from now on. Like, no matter what your reference picture's ears look like. And she's like, and then just start like Frankensteining. She's like, you'll figure out your style eventually. It'll be all good. That's cool.
And it'll change over the years too.
Yeah, and I figure, it'll be a little like writing, where your style changes based on your project too.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes I'm going to need cleaner lines, and sometimes I'm going to need the real sketchy fast look, and sometimes I'm going to need stuff to be real hazy and smudgy. Although smudging, let me tell you, is one thing I have not figured out how to like do well yet. I thought I would love, because I love the way charcoals look. I actually picked up some charcoals like towards the beginning of the year, like February or March or something like that, right before we went into lockdown. And I was like, charcoals are awesome. I'm going to try charcoals. Oh, fuck no. I was like, I got no talent with these things. I don't even know what to do, which is shit.
That's like my element, is charcoal or like just like black ink. But my canvas is like 2 feet by 3 feet or whatever.
So maybe I need to try a larger canvas, because I'm just doing like a.
You want those big, sweepy, sketchy lines when it comes to charcoal, and then you can smudge it all to heck.
Yeah, so I'm just doing like it's just a small sketchbook right
now. I could see using Conti, but you're better off using a pencil and learning to smudge that way.
Okay, let's try that.
If you're working that, do you know what level of pencil you're using?
So depending on the picture, what do I do with those? Let me grab my Star Trek mug, my Star Trek beer stein.
Nice.
Like, and it's the old school.
Yeah, it is.
It's TOS. So I actually bought this. There's a whole plate set that goes with these. I found these at Comic-Con last year, and super cheap. They're in like somebody's garage sale type like display.
Nice.
And bought all the plates and bowls and everything for my dad, because also a huge Trekkie. And then I bought this beer stein to go with it too. And I was like, I can't give it up. I need to keep one thing. So I kept the beer stein and sent him the plates and everything.
Nice.
So like I'm using like 2B and 4B and 2H and 4H and 6.
Okay, so you want to use obviously your Bs are going to be like smudgier, easier to smudge.
Easier to smudge, yeah. And I've got like a little paper
smudge stick.
Smudge stick, thank you. Is
Mm-hmm.
the yeah. So I've
You
got
don't have to mess up your fingers.
yeah. So I've got 2 or 3 of those, and when I want a finer smudge
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing, so yeah, I found, and I've also found, I guess I am becoming an artist because I've also found certain brands that I'm like, I like this brand. I do not like these brands. You know,
Yeah.
like I like in the pencils, I like the Generals
Mm-hmm.
brand of pencil, but I don't like the Blick brand.
Okay.
You know, kind of a thing. And then he bought me some other ones, and I was like, these are okay. I still want my Generals. You
Mm.
know, kind of a thing. So I don't know. You come for writing and you get, other art talk. You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, the art talk. Well, considering it's Debbie. Art
Debbie.
talk.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit about art because it would be the comic book writer artist,
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And I've got you on here, and you are very much an artist. You're very much a designer as well as being a writer. I mean, we're all artists.
We're all artists.
There's artists, and then
Yeah, illustrator. Oh well, I'm an illustrator.
You're an illustrator. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and I don't think I could illustrate to save my life. I don't think I could do it. Like, even the shit that I've been doing, like, because I can't repeat the same thing. Like, I've tried, like, trying to, like, make the image, like, do the exact same image again, but a different pose or whatever. I can't do that. I've tried.
It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of study.
Yeah.
You start to analyze the things that you are looking at, like in your day-to-day, and studying line and form in its natural habitat. Basically, I spent about 4 years, and I think to some degree I still do it, where I'll look at something and study it, like from an artist's perspective. Hi, Carrie.
Carrie, hey Carrie, good to see you, my weirdo. Haven't seen you. So I guess you did pop in during my Sunday stream when I streamed on Sunday out of rotation a little bit. So that's cool.
Yay.
Yeah. So we're doing writing sprints. I'm working on Project Lambeau. Sako is working on illustrations for children's book, which is really cool. Debbie is like being all diligent here. She's like, I got 151 words done, which is awesome. I got 124, but I had to read through that section, and then of course I had to comment on all the stuff that I loved. So we should probably do another sprint because it's it's getting into the stream a little bit. And first I was talking about Christmas stuff, and now I'm talking about art stuff. But now, man, I really want to. I might draw first thing in the morning tomorrow. I haven't done that like first thing in the morning for a while because I don't know if y'all know this about me. A little secret: not a morning person.
Yeah.
God. Like, I'm terrible. Like, so I've been working from home, and I've got an alarm that goes off at like 8:20, which is like the holy shit, you better turn on your computer in order to be logged in time, etc. Kind of a thing, because I start by 8:30. And they're like, I'm rolling out of bed at like 7:55. And I still have to shower, and I do. I still take time to shower and slap on my lipstick if it's not the same lipstick I've been wearing for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And, brush my hair and put on makeup. Well, lipstick. Brush my teeth, feed the animals, which takes the longest amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I do all of that in, 25 minutes. So, and I've tried so hard to get up earlier, and if I can do it all in 25 minutes, then why get up earlier?
Yeah.
And so Carrie is working on their planner, just came from Caro's channel, and the Plannerama. Yes. So I figured a lot of people would be at Plannerama, because Caro and Lisa are awesome at like being that level of organized. I can't do it. It's not me. But I'm gonna go back and rewatch the stream later because maybe I'll get some ideas and maybe I'll figure out how to be more plannerific.
Plannerific.
Yeah. But Debbie says it does take lots of practice. Sucked at it when I started redrawing characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm super impressed by my friends that have like comics and do illustrations on a regular basis and can just redraw the characters, and you know it's that character, and it really doesn't look any different. It's just from a different angle, or has a different facial expression, or and I'm like, that's a level of patience I don't think I have.
There will come a point where it becomes intuitive, and
I can see that.
There was another point that I was going to make, and my train derailed.
I do that a lot. I do it especially when I'm writing, but a lot when I'm talking. I'm like,
drawing characters, yeah. There came a point where, I mean, it was, it blew the doors off my house, basically, that if you, it wasn't that I couldn't do something, it was that I just wouldn't.
True.
Right? So I wouldn't try, because I would be like, oh, I suck at that. I'm no way am I going to do it. And then I talked to a couple of brilliant illustrator friends of mine, and they were like, just do it. Whether you know how to do it or not, like, look up some reference and just do it. And I was like, oh. So, for instance, like, I had never drawn comics. And then all of a sudden I was drawing a comic and doing drawing cars and buildings and interiors and all of that stuff. Whereas I never, like 10 years before, I never would have been drawing any of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of, like my friend last year, she's just like, just pick up paper and a pencil and just try.
Just try.
She's like, what's keeping you from trying? And just try a couple more times. Because she's like, I have no doubt that as a writer, you are amazing. Like, you could just write naturally. She's like, most writers can write naturally. It comes to them naturally, and then they learn skill. She's like, so you don't have the natural part yet, but maybe you do. Who knows? She's like, so just pick it up and try it. She's like, you've never really tried it except for art class. And she's like, art class is stupid. She's like, all art classes in school are stupid because they try to teach you how to draw using a formula. And she's like, but you got to kind of find your own formula.
Yeah, you do.
To figure out how to, she's like, I'm not saying that it doesn't have some value. It does. She's like, but she's like, art history has more value than an actual art class does.
It varies from person to person.
Yeah. But yeah, she's like, it just, she's like, they're great. If they're grading you on art, then she's like, that's what's stupid about most of the classes, is that you're being graded on art. She's like, but if you...
It's subjective, which is dicey.
Yeah. She's like, it's too subjective. She's like, so just try it. And she's like, if you try it for a little while, what did you lose other than some bucks on a sketchbook? She's like, but you can at least say you tried it and that you genuinely know that you suck at it. And I was like, well, I guess you have a point. And I was like, I was an okay writer, but of course, obviously, it got better the more I did it.
Yep.
So that's the whole point of learning the skill. And, well, yeah.
I have an I have OCD, right? So I hyper focus, and
unlike me with ADHD,
which is exactly the opposite. Yeah. So I like, when I decide I want to do something, I become obsessed with it.
Yeah, that's my partner.
Yeah. So my poi practice was daily for like 3 years, My guitar practice was daily for my guitar practice was constant. And that was I picked it up when I was 13. So I've been at it for a minute. Granted, the last couple of years I kind of dropped off my practice. The drawing stuff I've been doing since I was in 5th grade, and I'm still obsessed with it. Like
A few years later.
just a couple.
Just a couple. Yeah, it's, you know, I don't, even when I do, because people with ADHD, we do develop a hyper focus, usually on something that just very, very much like catches our attention and pleases us. We're very much super gratification, like gimme, gimme, gimmes. But because of the ADHD, we distract too easily. So like hyper focusing and really tunneling down on something is really hard to do.
Yeah.
It has to be an absolute passion, like, or
Right.
or you need it for something.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, it's too easy to get distracted by things that might be a passion, or, you know, kind of a thing. So I'm going to do a whole video, I think, coming up on, like, because I had a friend of mine, we went shopping a couple weeks ago, and she's like, yeah, she's like, I have so many great ideas, and she's like, I know I need to write them down. She's like, she's like, I know I do. I need to write them down and just try writing. She's like, but like me, she has ADHD, and she's like, I don't know how to. She's like, I can't figure out how to focus to do it. I was like, well, I guess I do have some tips on how to do that. She's like, you haven't. She's like, I've been watching your videos, and I can't believe that you haven't done a how to be a writer and how to juggle ADHD at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's something that requires you to actually like focus.
Yeah, ADHD writer was doing that stuff for quite a while, but she's kind of dropped off the planet.
I mean, I kind of dropped off for a little bit too, so
Yeah.
it happened.
You had a good excuse.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that being sick there for an entire month,
Yeah.
and just recovering was pretty rough. So, but yes, okay. Speaking of writing and getting off topics and being distracted easily and ADHD, let's try that sprint thing again.
Let's do that thing again. Reset. All right. And 3, 2, 1. Do it. And mute it.
And we're back.
Howdy.
Okay, so I did a little better that time. I still didn't get very many words done, but I got a little more into it. So how did you do?
I am currently inking with a new pen, basically a new tool.
Ooh.
Which is kind of like it's acting like a calligraphy pen.
Oh, cool.
So it's proving interesting.
So calligraphy was one thing that I did do. I took up calligraphy in high school.
Cool.
So I did do some calligraphy in high school, which was cool.
That is cool. I did it in high school too.
Yeah, I thought it would, like, you know, if I took up calligraphy, that it would like make my handwriting better. It didn't really help me.
It doesn't really, yeah.
But it was cool to be able to do, and I can still kind of do it. Like, I'm sure if I just practiced a little bit, it would be pretty fluid again. But
yeah.
But yeah. So
the bots are out. All right.
Yep, I see that the bots are out. I'm like, what the hell was that just popped up? But you know.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was I? Get off. Where did I leave off? Okay, so I did do better this time. I did 373 words, which, you know, it's only like 500 words so far. But, you know, I'll also have tomorrow a little bit to maybe get some words in. Admittedly, I'm struggling with the hospital scene a little bit. So for those of you who had hung out with us during our beats and everything, we have a scene where our protagonist teenager starts to kind of trust our protagonist male lead a little bit, and they have like this kind of like getting to know you session a little bit after he's
bonding moment.
Yeah, bonding moment. Hey, I might trust you, and like kind of maybe sometimes listen to you.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with it a little bit just because it's a broad range to cover between her initial "why the hell didn't you tell me this shit" and the actual like
trusting part. Yeah, I looked at it at the outline and I was like, we didn't flesh any of that out. We were just like, this is the goal.
It's like, this is a general, very vague freaking idea, and so I am tripping up on it a little bit. I am like stumbling a little bit on it, but
right on.
You know, I'll hopefully get a little more in tomorrow before I turn the draft back over to you on Monday. Okay. And then we'll see. We'll see how far we get. I mean, I'm almost at the end of the scene. It's going to have to be fleshed because it's a rough scene.
No problem.
But so Debbie got 62 words in, which is good. Which is really good. All words are good. All words are good. Bad words, good words, they're all good. Let's just block some bots. There we go. No bots. No bots on my screen.
No bots.
So yeah, I'm running out of coffee. But anyway, yeah, so you know, it's just a wide range of emotions to fit into one scene. And I left Jerry in the scene, like, initially, because I wanted Daisaku to be able to like react with her hair. But I haven't had her say anything, and it's kind of awkward. Like, she's just been sitting there during this exchange between these two and not really saying anything. So I don't know if I should have her, but she's great as a, because obviously Daisaku's not going to just be like, blah, here's everything that you need to know about the council and my life, and like the people after you, etc.
Oh yeah, he probably wouldn't say all that around Jerry.
Yeah, and he's gonna hold some stuff back, like dumping on Justicia that there are also demons running around. Might be
Right.
a little bit much after you just let her know. By the way, there are other people like you that can create fire just out of thin air.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. So like I want Jerry to be there because now Jerry knows about demons.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I haven't had her say anything yet. And so I think I'm gonna have to like go back into the scene probably later, like tomorrow or whatever, and like insert some interaction between Jerry and Justicia and Daisaku. So she's not just sitting quietly in a corner and just occasionally shooting him looks.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of a thing. So Carrie is looking up obscure holidays to write in the planner.
Cool.
Those are always fun.
Well, like talk like a pirate day.
Yeah, like are you looking for like
some like 17th or something like that? I forget.
Are you looking for like the fun silly ones, or are you looking for like more of the serious
holidays? Yeah,
like actual holidays, like quote unquote serious holidays, like because Sako and I can at least tell you what the witches.
Oh yeah,
like
the Wiccan ones. Yeah.
So we could
Gardnerian.
I mean, the equinoxes and the solstice; those are easy.
Yeah,
those are easy. But like we can tell you the strain ones. So Luna Sa is actually one of my favorite, which I'm probably mispronouncing it because I've only ever read it. But Luna Sa is actually
Lunasoth, I think.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Like when I was still in the Midwest, I'd specifically go blackberry picking that day, and then I would make fresh blackberry cobbler for Luna Sa.
Nice.
That was like my tradition.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I don't know why I settled on that. I just was like, I don't really know how to celebrate this holiday per se, other than like I knew some of the rituals, and stuff like that. But sure. I was like, I want something that's like a tradition that I do on this particular holiday. And
yeah,
I was well, blackberries are in season, and
yeah,
it's a good day. It's still hot, but it's not too hot out for me to put on enough layers of jeans and long sleeve flannel shirts and go climbing through blackberry brambles.
Yeah.
And then, I know how to make cobbler. So it's like, yeah, let's do that.
Win.
Yeah. She said, yeah, there's like drink wine day and send a card to a friend today. And
yeah.
Stuff like that. I don't know too many of those. I mean, I know Talk Like a Pirate is sometime in September.
Look at the Japanese holidays.
Well, this would be fun. Some of those would be
they have holidays for the wackiest stuff, and some of the more I don't want to say mundane, but like Girls' Day, Boys' Day, Grandma's Day, Grandpa's Day, as well as Mother's Day and Father's Day. Sure.
Yeah. Like celebrating People Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is cool. I like that. Yeah, I mean, I used to know a bunch of those. Like when I still worked for the Department of Education,
mm-hmm.
I had like just a wall of like calendar days of holidays so that I could tailor the department's social media messaging.
Sure.
Particular holidays and capitalize off the hashtags and the SEO.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to make them like related to education because obviously I was working for the Department of Education, but sometimes it would be silly, like, like National Donut Day.
Yeah.
Thing and just fun stuff. National Puppy Day. But I don't know any of those anymore. I wiped that stuff from my hard drive up here.
Yeah.
I stopped working there. which is way too much to keep track of. And those days can be a little fluid. Like it's not they're not always on the same days sometimes. Sometimes they're like, it's the first Saturday of every month.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's the first Saturday of September, or something like that. But oh, wow, we should probably write some more. It's probably a good idea.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like my energy is like
Bleh.
draining out of me, which I can't do because I promised my partner that we would do the corny Christmas, putting up the decorations and tree and stuff tonight. So
Yeah.
I had to drink a shit ton of hot chocolate
And drink a shit ton of hot chocolate.
just to have the energy.
All right.
Have the chocolate, sugar, caffeine buzz. All right. We got 20 more minutes on the clock.
And one. And oh wait, I count 3, 2, 1, and start.
Great. Beep, 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 beep,
Beep.
I'm sure everybody heard. I'm sure everybody heard the Google timer, but just in case you didn't, it made me jump because again, it was not like 20 minutes to me. It was like. So good news, I did finish up the hospital scene.
Oh, good.
With Justicia getting to the point where she's like, all right, dude, I'll talk to your peeps.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't like what they got to say, I'm going to bounce.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of a thing. And he's like, whatever, deal. Just talk to him. I just realized I just introduced a new character, though. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So we've got that beat point of Daisaku going to the Mage Council and asking for backup, but the lieutenant shut him down. Right. And I was like, shit, I got to introduce the lieutenant because I got to like have this conversation where he's like, no,
yeah,
you know, thing. So far what I have is his name is John Martinson.
Ooh.
And he has a Texan drawl. Like
nice.
A Texan accent.
Nice.
He's also the West Coast lieutenant.
Okay.
So I figure he covers like basically all of the West Coast, like with the exception of like the Southwest.
Mm-hmm.
Like I figure he probably covers like, you know, Idaho and Oregon, Washington, and California, and then like Nevada, Colorado, like the Four Corners, Nevada, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico are kind of their own thing with the Southwest lieutenant. I figured like most of the lieutenants will probably only have like 4 states, except for there's probably like just a Texas lieutenant because Texas is enormous. But yeah, I don't know. We didn't really get too much into the mysterious Mage Council and like the hierarchy and the workings. So I'm gonna make some shit up on the fly, and insert it for your review at some point. Because this, y'all, is where pantsing meets plotting.
Yes.
You get plantsing, which is very much a Sako and my style.
Yes.
Where we plot to a point and then we go, yay, discover! So
how the discovery writing.
Yeah. I got to that beat point and was like, oh shit, we never made a character profile for the lieutenant of the Mage Council.
I think because he was such a small role.
Yeah, I mean, he's really only going to have the 2 scenes. The one scene now, and then that may be seen later at the funeral. Which we didn't decide if he was going to be there or not going to be there. I think we're going to have to feel that one out. So
yeah,
just a little bit player. But yeah, so I was like, well, crap, but I got to have a little more in depth about him than just the nurse at the nurse's station, you know, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna do a little bit more because he's gonna be a potential contact for gonna maybe come into play twice. And if we do decide to do anything with this storyline further on, he could potentially come into play further on. Yeah, kind of a thing. Debbie says that they do the same thing. They're plotting, pantsing, all at the same time.
Yeah.
Planting is good.
Planting.
Okay, so basically we got 3 sprints in, which is not too bad. How did you do on more of your inking?
Like, I colored one of the swatches, and I will color the other 2 tomorrow, I think, because I'm like falling asleep sitting up, which is ridiculous.
I think so. My caffeine is starting to kick in a little bit. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's going to be enough to like. I'm sure we're gonna put on like a cheesy Christmas movie or something while we do the cheesy Christmas stuff. So like I used to like absolutely hate doing like cheesy stuff. Unless it was cheesy sightseeing. I loved cheesy sightseeing, like taking all the stupid tours and let all the tourists take and stuff like that. But
Sure.
like, I hated doing like the cheesy couple stuff until I got with this partner. And now I like love doing the cheesy couple stuff. I guess that's like a good sign.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
I wish my husband was the same.
Okay, I spent 10 years of getting this partner to kind of be okay with doing the cheesy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he still won't go on like a tour with me anywhere, like a touristy type tour. He's like, that's too cheesy for my thing.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we'll totally get in a photo booth on Santa Monica Pier and take cheesy photos on Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah.
Like, we do stuff like that.
Sure.
So, and Debbie said for the sprint, she took a bath.
Yes.
Because got to work in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand how that is. Sometimes you're just like, gotta do it the night before. Gotta be ready. So, all right. So let's go ahead and do our outro. Take it away.
Howdy haulers, it's Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror and I'm a witch and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. I'm so used to saying these things I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Yeah, I know. You're like, did I lose my place? No, you did it good. You're fine.
Okay. So if you are looking to market yourself as an author, or you're looking to be a witch or a witch, please drop by my channel. I'd love to see you.
Yes. And Sako hosts amazing coffee chats where it literally any subject can be explored.
Yep. And I've been reading through Year of the Witch, which we are about halfway through. So tomorrow we talk about Samhain.
Ooh, that'd be nice. Yeah. I mean, since it just passed. So I educated the shit out of my new office, by the way, who they knew nothing about the origins of Samhain and like where the Halloween traditions came from and like what countries they originated out of, and that it was even called Samhain.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a trivia contest, and one of the questions was, what was the original name of Halloween? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, click, that one's easy. And everybody's like, I don't know. They just guessed, of course. You know, they're like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what is this Samhain thing? And we were on a Zoom call, and I literally went, like,
face,
yeah,
entire palm.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Wiccan 101. It was like, let's, kind of a thing. I was like, first, it's pronounced Samhain. It's like, let's go back to our Celtic origins, kind of a thing. So yeah, anyway, so that was my little, I also coincidentally won that trivia contest, of course.
Yeah.
I won all the shit in October. I had to like start giving stuff away to other people. I was like, second runner-up can take my gift card because it's not fair that I keep winning all the Halloween related stuff. But yeah. All right, everybody. So you all know me. I am BC Brown, and this is BC Brown Books, where, of course, we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. We write them, and we talk about writing them. And sometimes we talk about witchy things, and sometimes we talk about cheesy Halloween things, and a lot of times we talk about cats, because we both have cats. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, Buddha goes to her forever home on Monday. So the kittens will be officially rehomed as of Monday, and then we just have Mama Cat. But before we rehome her, if we rehome her, because our roommate really kind of has fallen in love with her and wants to keep her. But yeah, anyway, she's gonna have to leave. She's got to be spayed. So
yeah.
So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But she's gonna at least have to be spayed and healed up before we could rehome her, if we rehome her.
Right.
But I think we have another little pregnant female running around outside.
Oh no.
Yeah. She's so cute. I call her Mouse. She's a little gray tiger with some white on her. And she's tiny. She's like a runt of all these other little gray tigers running around.
Oh.
So that's why I call her Mouse. Anyway, she's a little too feral for me to like. I can get near her while I have food in my hands and while she's eating, but I can't quite touch her yet.
Right.
She could just be putting on some winter bulk, bulking up for winter.
She could
But
be.
it's kind of specific bulk.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking she might, but I don't know for certain that she's even a female because I can't get that in inspecty.
Yeah.
And of course she's got gray all up her hindquarters, so I can't really just see,
Yeah.
if she's got any nuggies or not. So, but if she does, I'm sure we're going to end up fostering her until she gives birth, if we can get our hands on her. Because that's what we do. Just can't have, like, all the females are just going to be brought into our house because they're all just going to get knocked up.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yes, everybody. So thank you for coming for the stream tonight. I really love my wordy weirdos that come out and like join us and are working through this process with me and Sako on writing this book and doing it as visibly as possible. I am going to get a little more writing in tomorrow just because I struggled with tonight with this particular scene, so I'm going to try and flesh it out. I did, by the way, go back and manage to insert Jerry into the hospital scene a little bit.
Okay.
It's probably a little awkward, and I'm probably going to have to smooth it out, but she's in there.
Okay.
With actual dialogue. So I'll work on this a little bit more tomorrow just to get a few more words in before I turn it back over to you on Monday. And I'm going to go and do some cheesy couple Christmassy stuff and decorate my house with gremlins and anything Halloween scary that I can possibly insert as much as possible into this bright, cheery crap. Thank you so much, my weirdos. Love you all. And remember, keep